Up, everybody? It is
Happy Friday.
Friday. Y'all know what that time is. It's some time for some anime and chill. And we have a special episode tonight. Well, actually, yeah, kind of tonight, or at least not for me just yet. But
It's
but
afternoon.
yeah, it's still considered afternoon, but we got a special guest all the way from the East Coast, if I'm not mistaken, from I believe New York. So
Ooh,
yeah, all the way from out there. So we are gonna get into her anime history. So before we bring her in, I just want y'all to sit back, relax, if it was a long week, come by, join us. If you guys are into the anime, come by, chill with us as we get to know our special guest. Because when I ran across her page, I saw Dragon Ball, and I'm like, yes, yeah, I need to know more about you. What was your first time seeing Dragon Ball and all that wonderful stuff? So it's gonna be a good episode, Abby. So
I'm
let's go.
ready.
Are you ready? So let's go. Let's everybody sit back, relax, and just chill with us. Let's There we go. We are back, and we got our special guest. Abby, go ahead and introduce her. Ladies first, go ahead.
Absolutely. Everyone in chat, I would like to give you, or give, like for you to give, a very warm welcome to SSGoshin4, who is an encyclopedia of Dragon Ball knowledge. I am so excited to get to know you and all the things about Dragon Ball. I just can't wait to dive in. So, right off the bat, go ahead and tell us all about yourself and your interest and involvement in the anime community, and more specifically, I want to hear all about Dragon Ball.
Yes, there's a lot to say. Well, first, thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure. And I guess I'll start a little bit of like who I am and how I got started into all of this Dragon Ball. As you can see, there's some of my collection back there.
Yes, I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, I've been collecting for a very long time. So I'm SJ Goshin4, also known as Goshin on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. And I kind of just started loving Dragon Ball since I would say like 5 years old. First time I saw it was on Toonami, like a lot of us. And so yeah, I was like
Oh yeah.
hooked. I was hooked when I first saw it. I was like, what am I watching right now? And I'll never forget, like the very first episode I ever saw was when Yamcha got defeated by the Cyberman when he got killed.
Oh,
That
okay.
was the first one I ever saw, and I was like, "What am I watching? What is this?" I'm like 5 years old, but so ever since then, I just loved it. That's my favorite anime, like, and I always loved the figures and everything. Growing up, I had like action figures. I would play with my cousins with them and make my own like stories. And then one day, when I was like 11 years old, I went to Toys R Us and was gonna buy a Dragon Ball figure, and I saw it in the box. Something clicked in my head, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to open this. I kind of really like how it looks like in the box. So that was the start of like the actual hardcore collecting. 11 years old.
Ooh, my
Lifelong
God.
collector. I love that.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Who was it, by the way?
What figure was it?
Yeah, it was.
I think if I could, I don't remember that well. It was either, I know it was a 2 pack. It was either the Piccolo and Nail 2 pack or a Dragon Ball GT 2 pack, but I'm pretty sure it was Piccolo and Nail. I think.
Nice.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it was
Nice.
awesome.
Do you have that visceral feeling of holding it in your hand, like in your memory when you think back? Can you just snap back to that memory and feel yourself holding it in your hands?
Yeah, it's like it's funny because I can remember that memory, and also the very first time I actually bought my first Dragon Ball figure ever when I was like probably 6. When I went to KB Toys,
KB
back when
toys. Oh
Right,
my
right.
god. Yeah.
yeah, back in the day.
All
And
the
yeah,
nostalgia.
yeah,
Oh my
exactly. So I still
god.
remember that, and I still have that figure too, by the way, my very first one.
That was going to be my follow-up question. I was going to say, do you have
Oh.
either of those figures? That's so incredible. I love that. And the passion that goes along with toy collecting, figure collecting, you know, something like you said just snaps for people where they go, I don't know that I love this. I want to make sure it stays special. If I take it out, I might throw it around the yard a little bit. Might get stomped on when I go play with it. But this one's special to me. So that's so incredible that it's not just, you like Dragon Ball, you like all the things, you share all the passion with it. It is something within you that wants to protect the thing that you love. That is so incredible.
Exactly. I know. It's crazy how like I was only 11 and it just clicked with me and I was like, "Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to keep it." And then I just
Not
continued
open
from
it.
there.
Just keep it. Looks so
Yeah.
nice, so shiny.
Exactly. But like now I just like I collect both. I collect them in the box, I collect them loose too. If they come loose, I'll keep them loose. Like, and I have a little bit of everything when it comes to Dragon Ball. Like I have so many different kinds of Dragon Ball items, not just figures in my collection now.
I've got to ask, do you ever purchase multiples of something so you can open one and keep the other one in the box?
I have done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
alone. You're not alone.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
guilty of
yeah.
that.
That's okay. That's part of the joy, right? Ripping it open. Do you ever save the packaging after you open it?
Only the thing is I only purchase the ones that like or take out the ones from the box if I'm able to put them back in the box. If for some reason like
Oh.
there's no way I can put it back in, then I won't open it. But
Right, because some things have those little ties on them, right? And then you can't ever
that
snap them back in.
Oh
just
yeah.
like
Before it
the
gets frustrating.
blister, like with the one that has
Yeah.
like the glue around it and you just rip it and you're screwed. You can't like put it
Screwed.
back.
Don't want to damage the little cardboard. You're like, "Ooh, no, I
Yeah,
don't want to
no.
open
Right,
that."
right. The
So
struggle is
yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to collecting, and you're so like, as soon as you get it, protector, everything, boom, gotta get it.
Exactly. No, honestly, it's a whole like science when it comes to like even collecting in general. You gotta how to find the figures. Let's
Yes.
talking to other collectors to find out more information on specific things. Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot
True.
into it.
So I want to know a little bit about when did you begin sharing all of your content, all of your collection, your pieces, your love for Dragon Ball on social media? Was it on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube? How did you get started with spreading your love to other people that enjoy Dragon Ball as well?
Well, I think the first time I actually shared my collection or any kind of collection was maybe I was like, I think I was like 12 probably. And I went on the dragonballtoys.com forum and there was like a whole website just dedicated to collectors back then. And I just shared some of my stuff. And then, that was it. I would just talk to other collectors on the forum. And then I guess a few years later, I opened my first YouTube account and that was in 2006, almost in the infancy of YouTube, really. And
Right.
I had a different account actually. Originally, I had just SSGoshin4 without the J.
Hmm.
So I started just posting like anime music videos on there back when you didn't have any trouble with copyright.
Copyright,
Right.
just go,
Yeah,
let loose.
yeah, exactly. So I used to just post that on there, and then one day when I was looking through like I guess Dragon Ball figure content on YouTube just to see what people had on there, I saw someone reviewing Dragon Ball figures and from their personal collection. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Like I could do this myself. I have
Hmm.
so many figures. So then one day I just got my camera and just set it up. I still have that old YouTube video on my channel. If you look all the way in like to the oldest video, it's still there. It's me with my flip camera, and I'm just like reviewing in terrible quality and terrible audio quality and everything. But that's how I just started. I'm like, I can do it too. Let me try it. And I was, I think, 15 or 14, around that 15, 14, 2008 is when I started doing figure reviews. And then so I did that and I just was consistent with it. And then In 2009, my YouTube channel got suspended. Yeah,
Oh no!
What?
yeah,
Can
yeah.
I ask why? Was it because of all the previous content that you had on?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
look at him.
Yes, that's exactly what happened because at that time, that's when I guess Google got in there with YouTube, and then they started just copyright striking everything and without any warning, and so they just deleted my account. I was devastated. I was
I'm
devastated.
sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
because at the time I had like 1,000 subscribers, and back then that was like such a big deal.
Yes, yes,
I
it
was
Right.
like, oh
was.
my gosh, like I
You
was
got
like,
a
how,
thousand. Oh my god, you got
yeah,
1,000 subscribers.
yeah, exactly. So I was so upset. And then like I was like, how am I gonna get all my subscribers back? Because I and that's how I made SSJ Goshen 4. So that account's been active since 2009. So what I had to do was I literally had to go into my emails because back then they used to just email you every
Yes.
single like person who subscribed. So I had to go there, and back then YouTube had a messaging system where you can message people direct message on there. So what I did was I looked through every single person that subscribed to me and sent them a message and said, "I have a new channel. Here's my new channel." I had to go through 1,000 emails, and I did it.
Worth
Oh
it. You put
wow.
in the
Yes.
work.
Yeah,
Good for
Committed.
you. And
yeah,
now I'm curious, how many of those people replied back and were like, "I'll be there, no problem."
a good amount of them. I think most of them
Very
did,
good. You've
That's
got a
which is
good
good.
great.
community then.
Good
Yeah,
loyal community. There we go.
yeah. It was devastating, but at least now I have that back and more. So I started with YouTube, and then ended up doing Instagram, Facebook, TikTok is the newest one. So I just kind of expanded to like all the other social media platforms that have come out since.
Got it. Wow,
That's
good
good.
for
That's good.
you. That's putting in the work, sharing the
Yeah,
Yes,
love.
yeah.
everybody, don't let nothing stop you.
I agree. Yes,
Especially like a roadblock, especially if you are that passionate where you're just like, because anybody, honestly, that could have been a moment where like, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to
Yes.
do this over. Start a whole new
exactly,
channel, everything. And
exactly.
yeah, nah. So big ups to you committing and staying to that. And actually, because imagine going through 1,000 emails, boom, that is work. That is work.
It
So
it is. It is. Yeah. And like I was 16 when that happened or something. And even when you're 16 and something like that happens to you, you feel like I don't want to do this anymore. Like whatever. But I was determined. I loved that little fan base that I acquired, the 1,000 subscribers, and I loved reviewing figures and all that. I'm like, I can't just let it die. I gotta continue.
nice, nice.
Right. And
Is it,
then,
it,
like,
and then yes.
you were 16, so like we're still new with the internet. We're still, of course, we want to spend more time on it. At least that's how I was. Like, oh, I'm about to send out 1,000 emails. Of course, let's go.
I
When
know.
you're
Yeah.
young and you have the time, right?
Exactly. I had the time back then, like to do that.
Very good. I'm so
But just
eager to hear that. Yeah.
so even the transition though, because back then just didn't know where to find people who shared the same things. It was always some kind of forum, and that's how you had your community right there on those forums. So,
Exactly.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I've been on the internet since I was really little. So I've been through all the forums, and then YouTube came out, and there's that, and then like now it's just all this other stuff. It's so easy to connect with people. But
Right. We grew up on the
yeah.
internet. We're kind of used to it at this point.
yeah, we did. We grew up with the AOL.
Yep, yep. Millennials. Woo. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we used
Yep.
to get the 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours. Here you go, the CDs.
Exactly. Yep.
Right.
All of that.
Right.
All of that.
Oh my god.
Okay. So I would like to do. DJ and I usually do a little back and forth Q&A with our guests. So if you'd like to play some of that, it's usually pretty fun. We kind of talk about all things anime, everything centered around that. So if you're ready, DJ, go ahead and get started with the first question.
Let's
Okay,
do it.
so look, I love I we share the same passion when it comes to Dragon Ball because that's one of the first ones I laid my eyes on. So, you know, one of my man crushes is Vegeta. Vegeta is my guy, thick and thin. That is my guy. But who's some of your favorite anime characters? Who's at the top and who's like at the bottom? Who's at the bottom for you?
Okay, so when people ask me specifically, like, "Oh, what are your favorite Dragon Ball characters?" Like, I always resonated with Goku more than Vegeta. I like Vegeta too, but Goku, I love Goku. I love Goku.
It's all good.
Yeah, I know it's like the rivalry, between the two, but yeah, Goku is my favorite, and also a lot of people don't say this character, but she is one of my favorites. Is Pan? I also love Pan.
Oh,
Goku and
Pan.
Pan.
Oh,
Yeah, those are
okay.
my two favorite Dragon Ball characters, and Goku because he's loyal to his family and friends. Like he's pure hearted. Like
That
he
he
does
is.
everything. Yeah, he does everything for his loved ones, and like I love that about him. He can be a little,
A
you know,
goof. He could be a
goofy,
goof. Yes.
yeah, clumsy at times, of course, but everything is done with great intentions. So I
Yes.
love
You
him
will
for
get
that.
that from Goku. That's why I can't
Determined,
hate. I can't hate Goku as much as like I'm a Vegeta guy. I'm like, you can't hate Goku. Like, it's just impossible to hate
exactly.
Goku.
How can you hate him?
Yes,
Like,
there's no way. There's just like you can't find something to say. I hate him. I hate Goku. There's no way.
exactly. So Goku for that reason. Pan mainly because when I was younger, when I was 10 years old, that's when like GT was being shown on Toonami, and I finally saw. I felt like a girl that can like relate to me because we were both the same age. Like while I was watching it, and she was badass. She
Yeah.
was, uh, a 10-year-old girl that can kick butt, and
Yeah.
hold her own against the guys. So, and people would say she's bossy and stuff, but I'm like, I kind of like that about her, like that she just doesn't take crap from no one.
Right. What
So,
10-year-old girl doesn't think they know everything, right?
yeah, exactly. So, I really loved her character, and I still love it, and like I love what they did with her in the new movie and everything too. So I have a huge just Pan collection of just Pan stuff, and like in my
Nice.
massive collection, like it's crazy how much items I have. I don't even know how many items I have in total,
You
but
just start losing count. There's a certain point where we collect and you're like, I used to know exactly how many pieces I have. At this point, it's just like you just go. It just don't even matter anymore.
exactly.
Right. Do you have a least favorite character throughout the entire series or in anime in general?
Um, well, people have asked me this question too, and my answer is Rubrian. I don't know if you've watched Super Rubrian. She is
Yes.
super, super annoying.
Annoying. Oh my gosh. She's annoying.
Like she overstayed her welcome way too much, like way too long. I'm like, why is she still in this? Like, this is annoying, like
Yeah.
ridiculous. Get her
Yes.
off already.
Abby Super is so good. Like, oh, the tournament of power. Oh Lord.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a
Yes.
confession to make. I know, please don't judge me. I think the only Dragon Ball I watched when I was babysitting a neighbor's kid back when I was maybe 13, 14, when it was on after school, Toonami, very late.
Yeah.
And the only very clear memory that I have of Dragon Ball is, and I've told this story before, when they're talking on the green phones and they have somebody on the screen and they're
Yeah.
holding the phone and they're
Oh,
talking to the person. And I remember being a teenager saying, there is no way we will ever be able to see who we're talking to
yeah.
on the phone. This is some crazy futuristic nonsense. That is just not even possible. And now I laugh because I go, here we are right now. We're
That's so
doing the thing.
funny.
Just
That's
pick up the
Yeah.
phone,
hilarious.
boom, pick up the phone, boom. It's just
Right. And
Exactly.
I'm almost curious, and I want someone to make sure to cash me in on this if you take my idea. If someone were to build one of those phone boxes, like they've got the Google Homes or all of those
yeah.
things, if someone were to build one of those phones, how much do you think, like, that would rack up a pretty penny? If you could have one of those in your home when you're talking to someone or on FaceTime, that would be a pretty
Imagine.
cool collector piece, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, actually. Kind of like also kind of obscure, which makes it even like more valuable, I feel like.
Right,
You know?
right. I'm just saying. I'm not telling it people who make toys what to do, but
I'm just
think you
saying.
right. You're sitting on a gold mine there. It's waiting to happen. Very good. That's my only memory of Dragon Ball, and I'm very excited to learn from the two of you today.
Oh yeah. So obviously you've watched epic battles. What's one that sticks out the most?
For
Or
me,
moment? moment or battles? Because I mean, my God, there's just so many good ones.
I know. But for me, honestly, like my favorite moment is definitely when Goku turned Super Saiyan for the first time. Like that's the one that like sticks out to me so much because who doesn't
Oh,
remember being a kid watching that on the screen? Like you're like,
oh my God, I'm getting chills.
Finally.
yeah, like he
Oh my
finally did
God.
it, and it was an epic scene. Like we haven't seen. I feel like I haven't felt like that emotion, like those chills, like I did watching him turn Super Saiyan for the first time. Like I haven't experienced it like that to that extent.
I
You
remember
know?
that. I remember when he seen Krillin and he sees him, and then he's like,
Yeah,
Frieza's like,
yeah,
he
and
lost it.
yeah, and the
Oh, he
whole
lost it.
transformation though, like it took a while for him to actually do it because he's like like doing all this with his eyes turning white, you know.
I
So
remember, and
it's
I remember that episode, and they left off on the next. I was like,
yeah,
no, why do you do
Oh
that? Oh
no.
my
no, just
God.
cliffhanger.
Yes, that was a cliffhanger because you see Goku's eyes turning white and like the hair turning blonde, but turning back to normal. You
Yes,
don't
that's what
know
I'm
what's
saying.
going
And he's
on.
like moving
It's
his head back and forth, like
yes. I was like, and they just cuts on the next time on Dragon Ball. I was like, no, what are you doing?
for real.
Listen, if 90s anime was good at something, it was leaving you hanging.
Yes,
Oh my God.
facts. That's a fact. Now
And the
everything you can watch it like right away. You can like binge
okay,
it.
and you could binge through it, but it was funny because Dragon Ball had a thing where it's like right then they had a thing where they would rewind it back.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, they that cliffhanger, and then you get like, oh, we're gonna start over again. I was like, why?
Exactly. It was because they didn't dub it yet, so they had to
No,
go
yeah,
back.
they had to
And they're
go
like, oh, we're not
back.
done dubbing, so you have to go backwards. And I used to hate that. Used to hate
Oh
that.
my God. So you could tell Abby we were loyal to the cause, never got frustrated because I just wanted to see more. I just like, okay, I'm gonna see this all over again and leave you off a cliffhanger and they'll start over. Well,
Wow. Dedication. I love it. That's fantastic,
yes.
though.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
Yes.
so
dedication.
good.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I have a quick question. You're talking about dubbing now. When you're watching if there's a new Dragon Ball movie that just came out, do you prefer to watch it in sub or in dub, or do you not have a preference?
I always like grew up with the dub, but I learned to really like the sub, the Japanese, like as of more recent actually. In the beginning, I was like I couldn't really get used to it because I was so used to like the English
The
dub.
voices.
Yeah, because they're very different, you know. So I was like, I don't know if I can get into it. But then when Super came out and it was in Japanese first, of course, I was watching it like that with the subtitles. And then I became like just accustomed to it. And I actually really appreciate the Japanese voices now, of course. Like, so I like both of them like now. Before, I would have said before, oh yeah, the dub, but now I like them both.
You almost get to feel what the original motion is like. You get to feel how they're really angry when they're animated, what their true faces and all of those sounds. Like there's English voice actors really put in some work into trying to match what these
Yeah.
Japanese or
Oh yeah.
traditional language is, trying to keep up with that. And it's almost fun to listen to a sub versus dub audio if it's something that's not audible. It's like if it's just a scream, like how are these two screams different, and
What a
hearing which
difference.
actor you think did better. So
Yeah.
that's cool
Yeah.
that you're able to admire both of them.
Yeah, I do. I have an appreciation for both now. And ever since I was young, actually, I used to really look at who voiced two, which is crazy because what little kid would go into the credits and like look at
Let me see the
who voiced what?
name. Boom.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to like when I was like 11 or so, that's when I really became aware of like, oh wow, there's people voicing these characters.
Hmm.
And so I would look at the credits and just see who voiced who. And like, yeah, it's crazy how I was like into that even then.
Nice. Nice.
That's one of my
Nice.
favorite things to do as an adult now. Now that I can go like, oh, this voice actor's in here. Okay, great. I'm watching this one.
Yeah.
Adding that one to
Yeah.
my list. No problem.
Right, right, exactly.
Very good.
Okay, so discussing characters, what's that one battle scene that was like, okay, this is my favorite one, right? This is it.
Um, I love Cell, Perfect Cell versus Super Saiyan 2
Whoo,
Gohan. Who
yes,
doesn't love that
the
battle?
cell games, the cell games.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's an epic, epic, epic battle because that moment for Gohan was just incredible. And like you were just waiting for him to just unleash, and then it happened, and it was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I told this everybody. I said there was one point in time where Gohan was not to be messed with. He was the
Yeah,
strongest warrior, just period. And
he
then I was
was.
like, oh my god. To
Yeah, he
me,
was
what
amazing.
what did it was what the both of them did the Kamehameha. Ooh,
The father son,
Goku,
yeah,
yes. Oh my god, father
the
son
best.
combination.
I
Yo,
know that's like the most one of the most epic moments for me. Like to see that, it was just awesome. Like to see them
yes.
both come together and just
Come
do that.
together and do it, and then and Gohan on one hand because his hand is
Yes, he
jacked
was like
up. Yes,
like
on one hand. Yes.
so
Oh
good,
my
so
god,
good.
so good.
Like
So there you
Dragon
go.
Ball Z, those moments are just awesome. Like I feel
Oh,
like Super is great too. I love Super, but for me, Z
Z.
is
Oh my god, Z is
top
always
tier.
gonna, yes. Abby, I'm telling you,
Right.
Z.
Okay, so I'm sitting here going like, I know there's all of these different letters after Dragon Ball. I don't know which one comes first. Okay, so from someone who knows, if I'm going to sit down in front of my TV tonight and decide, okay, I want to start watching Dragon Ball, where should someone who has 20 plus years to catch up on begin?
Okay, so I had a friend that was going through the same thing. I told him technically you're supposed to start at Dragon Ball, the original, but he wanted to get right into Z, so he watched the Z. But I personally would suggest Dragon Ball first, so you can get all the backstory, the origins of Goku as a kid growing up and everything, and then go into Z. Depending if you like filler. Do you like filler? If you don't like filler, I would recommend Dragon Ball Z Kai,
Kai.
definitely, because
Kai,
there's no
yes.
filler.
Okay.
No
Yeah,
fillers in Kai.
yeah. The only thing is the
Okay.
voices are different. I'm not the biggest fan of the voice changes in some of them, but whatever. You don't know the original anyways, so I would say Kai, and then after would be Super. And if you want to watch, you can watch GT. I like GT personally. I'm a fan of
Th-
it.
There's moments in, look, if you search GT gets so much hate.
I think it gets too much hate for
Too much
I don't know.
hate. Like there is a fan base dedicated to downplaying and not acknowledging GT at all. There's just like people out there really
That's
about that
sad.
energy.
So
It
let me ask
is
you this, because I feel like I've seen cosplayers do Android 18, Android 21, if I'm naming them correctly, and I don't ever remember seeing those characters. Where are those characters in the Dragon Ball storyline?
Z
In
Yes,
Z
Z?
18 is
Okay.
NZ
in Z, and
NZ
Android 21 was part of the video games. So like I think she was in Xenoverse too
Xeno, yeah, Xenoverse.
first, and then now she's actually canon because of the new movie. So
Okay. So how do you catch up if you if never mind. I just have a whole long. I shouldn't say never mind because there might be someone who's curious and wants to know. So, would you say step one, Dragon Ball; step two, Dragon Ball Z; step three, Dragon Ball Super, or
Yes.
Dragon Ball Kai,
I
or
would
is
say
Kai
Super.
in substitution of Dragon
So
Ball Z?
yes, Kai is a
Kai,
substitution of Z, right? Because
Okay, got
Kai
it.
is Z without filler. It gets straight to the point.
straight to the
Okay,
point.
got it. And then where do the games come into the storyline? How does somebody who wants the full experience go like, okay, now watched all of this, I'm all caught up. Now I gotta sit down and play the games, right?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of its own thing. So you don't really
Okay.
have to like play the games that much. I mean, if you want like side stories or like just some like even like there's Dragon Ball movies. There's a bunch of Dragon Ball movies.
Oh
So there's
yeah,
that
Right.
too.
a lot of
So
movies.
This is a
yeah,
very big universe.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. And
yes.
like the movies like are not even canon to the main storyline except for the new ones from Dragon Ball, like I guess Battle of Gods
Battle of
forward.
Gods. Oh yeah, going
Yeah.
forward.
So
Yeah, it's
from
funny
Battle of
how
Gods
like the
on.
last movies really do connect to what's going on in Super, but like the other movies, were good, but they had kind of had nothing to
Yeah,
do with what was going on.
they're not
But
canon at all. Like, I
yeah.
remember being a kid and trying to figure out where does this go into the story. I didn't know. I was like, this is weird, but it's just because they're just movies, standalone movies.
Do you prefer having movies that are canon or not canon and just a standalone story?
I think it's better that they are like connected to the story in some way because at least they're part of the actual like
Right, right.
main universe. But I do
Okay.
like the other ones too. I do like them for what they are. Definitely, there's some really good ones actually. I think Fusion Reborn is my favorite movie
Oh
from
yeah,
those. I love it.
Wow,
definitely.
I'm learning so much.
Abby, I'm telling you, I'm
There's so
telling
much. There
she
is so much.
she knows about Dragon Ball because of like my two crushes, which is Vegeta and Bulma. That's why she knows.
So
I hear about it all the time, and it always feels like I felt this is. I'm sorry, I'm totally derailing. I felt like Attack on Titan was such a chore to watch. Like I'm gonna have to sit down. There's so much I'm gonna have to catch on. I'm gonna learn up on it. And then once I finally sat down and watched, it was almost like I was roped in. I couldn't stop. So I just have to hope that I can get the steam up to do the same thing for Dragon Ball because the Dragon Ball community is vast
Oh
and
yeah,
yeah,
large, and it's an encyclopedia of all things. And what's great is it seems like every Dragon Ball fan knows all of the same amount of information. So I can ask you one question and I can ask a DJ question, and it's great because if I could post a question, someone out there is a Dragon Ball
oh
fan.
yeah.
They're gonna have no problem answering it. So it's
that's
fantastic
true.
that you have a hub of a community of fans that enjoy it. You know, beginner fans, expert fans, and I like that. I went through your social media. I love that you recently posted what Dragon Ball would look like in the '90s, and that is such a
Yes,
fun series you have because
love
it's
it.
older fans will remember the artwork, that style then, and then seeing it all over again is probably really cool. So I'm curious to go see the movie. I've heard good things about it. Um,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you
Oh my
should.
God.
The,
yeah,
the new
very
one was
good.
really good. I like the new one as well. The one, the Dragon Ball Superhero, very good.
Superhero.
Dragon Ball
Hmm.
Super Superhero.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
latest one. That is the latest one.
yeah. So,
So
um, yeah,
we talk about these characters are strong, everything, but what do you think makes a character strong? Like personality or physical strength? Because we got all the physical strength in Dragon Ball. Like there's
yeah.
just, but what do you think characteristics? What do you think it takes to make a character strong?
I think it's like a combination of both because you got to have the personality for it. You got to be like obviously determined, like to just improve every single battle. One, two, you have to. I think you should be obviously. I'm gonna use Goku as a role model for that. Good-hearted. Okay,
Yeah,
you have to have. I feel like most of the shonen main characters are like that, kind of similar. They're like good-hearted. They always improve within every battle, and their strength just keeps improving. Their different abilities that they end up gaining over time with I don't know what other with each battle or training or anything. So yeah, I think that
yeah,
has to do with a lot. And I feel like My Hero Academia, like Deku is kind of like that. Reminds me of that.
yeah, he
I wouldn't
does.
disagree.
Right, he does.
I think he's a very good, kind-hearted person, and I admittedly have very strong feelings about my hero as of late. So
I've never, to be honest, I've never watched it, but from what I've heard all these great
he
things.
is.
And
I will agree. He's a very good, strong character. If you're ever curious, I would say feel free to watch season 1, 2, and 3, and then stop after that.
I've heard that before. I have
Have
heard
you?
that before.
I'm
Yes.
telling you, you're not alone, Abby.
Don't listen.
Wow.
Just I'm gonna don't put the
Funny.
coin in that coin box for me because I will go off on a tangent and this whole podcast will derail. I
That is
have
so
very
funny.
strong opinions about My Hero.
Yeah,
So
that's
Oh my
crazy how
God.
that can happen in some seasons where like what's the Promise Neverland? Like after the first season, it was like, what the hell is this? That's what I've heard from many people. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Yes,
really,
yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
oh,
I've never seen it, but I've heard that's like,
yes.
what the heck is season two?
No, honestly, they pretend it don't exist. Season one was good, but season two, they're like, okay, what is this? This isn't what I watched season one. It was not this. So,
Right. I
oh yeah,
wonder if that's why so many anime peak after like there's only one season of this show. They got the good stuff in and then they left it alone. Season 2 for some shows usually die out and then you'll never get it. So I wonder if they just quit while they're ahead for some of these shows.
Probably.
probably,
Yeah, I
probably,
was like, probably.
probably.
So I mentioned before a little bit about cosplay. Are you a cosplayer? Let's talk about some of your cosplay experiences.
Yeah, so not only am I a collector, influencer, but yes, I do cosplay as well. I started doing that probably. Here's a little side thing. I started really cosplaying when I was in high school, but doing Lady Gaga stuff because I'm also a huge Lady Gaga fan. So
Okay, nice.
I used to dress up like her in high school and all this stuff. That's a whole nother story. But so I started with her outfits and I'm like, okay, I could do the Gaga thing. Like, so let me see if I can try something else. Let me try a Dragon Ball cosplay. I mean, I should. So I think my very first cosplay was actually Pan because it was easy to do, and that's still one of my favorite cosplays to this day because it is so easy to just put on and it's not like I don't have to put on a heavy wig. It's super simple. And then I remember after that was Gohan. And so I started just doing my favorite characters or like any transformations. Like I did Super Saiyan 4. That's one of my favorite transformations actually. And I did that like female version. They're like a gender bender kind of thing. And I did a female Frieza. Um, and many other ones. I did female Go Tanks. So
Nice.
yeah, and I actually have one where I'm like myself as a Saiyan. I like wear the Saiyan armor and I'm just as myself.
That's
Because
That's
actually
good.
what
always cool. I
yes, my
love that.
thumbnail on YouTube. If you
Yeah,
see my thumbnail
yeah.
on YouTube, that's me in the as a Dragon Ball character. So
That's so cool. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah. So
Okay, so you just mentioned some of your favorite characters to cosplay. Um, what is your all-time favorite cosplay to wear? The one that you put on and you just feel so good. This is the one you get compliments on. What is that cosplay for you?
probably maybe Super Saiyan 4, because that one is when I have everything on, it looks badass. Because I have the yellow contacts, I got the big wig, I got the fur, the tail. Looks really cool. I love that one. I love
Nice,
that one.
nice.
Very
Yeah.
cool. What about future cosplans? Do you have anything that you're working on that you want to share?
I do. I have a yard rat Goku, but I still need the wig. I want the Super Saiyan wig to just finish it off, and then I'll have that one. I did it already with like the base hair Goku, with the base hair to do that, but I want to try Super Saiyan, so that is coming soon. So try
Nice, nice, nice,
that.
nice. That's
Very
good.
cool. So, do you ever do shoots in your cosplays? Do you wear them to conventions? Do you just do them at home just for fun? How do you prefer to do your cosplay?
I usually try to go to conventions and do them like if I'm not a guest at a con, like because I also am guest at cons where I, just showcase what I have and whatever. If I'm not doing that, I just go to a con and just show it to like everyone and just maybe I never done a cosplay contest, so I've never been part of one. I judge them, but I've never been part of one
Part of one,
myself.
okay?
But I just like taking photos with it and having people take photos of me and stuff. Like it's just fun. Like I love that.
It's good to have your work appreciated.
Right, there
Exactly.
you go.
Exactly.
Very good. Oh, I can't wait to see those pictures. I bet they're beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm actually going to like an event on Sunday. So
Really? Do you
there
want
you
to
Nice.
tell
go.
us about it? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be a guest at Ichimura Japanese Gardens in Miami. I'm actually from South Florida, so most of my events I do locally, but I do some stuff out of state, which is always fun. But this one, it's gonna be at a Japanese garden. I'm gonna help judge the cosplay contest for this one, and yeah, I'm gonna have my booth with my new banner and some Dragon Ball vintage goodies. If people want to come and buy some stuff for my personal collection or prints of my cosplays, it's gonna be all there.
Very
Nice, nice, nice.
cool.
That is
I
so good right
love
there.
con planning. You're going to have a blast. Can't wait to hear all about it. And
Yeah.
I'm sure the weather in Florida is probably just right about now
Yes, it's
for
like
wearing
Right?
a
perfect.
cosplay.
Yes, it is actually. January, like, is always great.
January, great down there. I bet you, because right now over here in California, it is cold. It is cold.
Really? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. I heard it was raining over there,
It
like
was. We
a
had a
lot.
good period of rain where it was just raining, raining, raining. It was cold, and then it'll stop, and then when it stops, it's even colder because it was raining the night before.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
that's good though.
Nice.
Yeah, I need to
Well,
go to
good.
California.
So you answered a whole bunch. I was going to have a piece where we just kind of did a whole Dragon Ball chat. Let me go through here and see if we've got any fun questions. A favorite season arc, a storyline.
I see an award. I see an award.
Oh
Right. Let's
yeah,
talk
I
about
Yeah.
have it. I can show
that.
it right now. It's
Yeah,
right
yeah,
here.
yeah,
Let me
bring
bring it.
that.
Let me
Yeah,
bring
bring that.
it.
I heard about an award. That's all I'm like, bring that.
It was awesome. Wait, let me get it real quick.
Look at all those cups. Oh
I
my gosh.
know. I
Those are
see
so
them.
cool.
Look at that. I see you at the. I know that's Vegeta down there. Shinron.
Look at how
Ooh,
beautiful that. Oh,
okay.
there it is.
There we
We're just
go.
oohing and eyeing over your collection in the background, all your
Oh,
cups, not
there
award.
we
Oh
go.
my goodness. So tell us about this award.
Okay, so I just won the very first North American Dragon Ball Alliance social media influencer of 2022, which is really cool because this was pretty much put together by just the fans. And I didn't ask anyone to nominate me or vote for me at all. I'm just like, let me just see what happens. I'm not going to ask anyone. If it happens, it happens. Cool. Because anyone could easily just be like, vote for me. Like, I didn't want to do all that.
Yeah.
So it was awesome that I got nominated and won without me even saying anything
Wow.
about it. I didn't even announce that I was part of it. I was just like, let's just see. So I'm very honored because I have always worked on my social media for so long, for so many years. And it's great to have your work noticed, that's for sure. And, just being on all the social media platforms, doing all Dragon Ball content. And also my day job, I do social media for my day job. So it's just, I'm
Wow.
all in it. I'm all
You're
in it.
all in. You're all in.
It was really cool to have this, and like now I can show it off and like tell
Oh
people, yeah,
yeah.
I won like
It's
social media influencer of the year.
Isn't it funny how something you accidentally maybe just glanced over and like, oh, what is this? And then look, I mean, it's just like a passion, and then look, people recognize that you are very passionate about this, and there you go. There you go.
Exactly, I know. It's so cool how like a hobby, literally a hobby, turned
Yeah.
into all these other things. Like I would have never thought it would bring me to like so many experiences and going here and there and meeting all these people. It's just awesome.
There you
Right. And
go.
that's that what's that saying? Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. There's something to be said clearly from when you were just so young, a teenager, digging through emails to be able to reach out to people. No, I'm dedicated to this. Please come over here. And then that has clearly brought you through where you are today to win an award for your efforts as someone on social media. Now, it is called the Dragon Ball Alliance. Is that a
Yes.
fan based community? Tell us about
Yes.
that.
So they are they're in a Facebook group. That's where they did the contest. They held it there. But it's pretty much like just a group of collectors and just Dragon Ball fans in general, not just collectors, but like people that draw Dragon Ball and like that cosplay and just do all of that. And they all come together in this group and share their passions and like anything they've I don't know drawn or cosplayed on that group. And so yeah, it's just a group of fans really, and that have a passion for Dragon Ball, and they had many other categories, not just this. They had like cosplayer of the year, Dragon Ball cosplayer of the year, and collector of the year, and all that stuff. So it was just cool to have a community just from fans to like grow so big as it is now, and like they are also invited to the Dragon Ball events in Texas. There's a Dragon Ball convention, literally just all Dragon Ball.
Right. We
Oh,
had
Ooh,
yeah,
somebody on that
Debbie.
went to that.
yeah, KamehamehaCon.
KamehamehaCon, yes.
Yeah,
We had somebody on who went to that and they were talking about they had all of the voice actors for Dragon Ball in there and it was all Dragon Ball everything.
yeah.
Our friend of the show, Super Saiyan Sonic,
Yeah.
was
Oh yeah.
there and he
I don't know
fantastic
if I know him.
cosplayer.
I don't know if I
Good
know
person,
him.
does
It's
voice
funny. Y'all were in the
actor.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the same event.
crazy. Well, I'll have to see. I have to look him up now.
Definitely.
But
Yeah.
I'll have to
Yeah.
send you his page. He's a fantastic cosplayer.
Yeah.
Him and
Yeah,
his partner do a bunch of cosplays together. They're very committed to it. Not to take the shine away from you, but a fellow huge Dragon Ball fan
that's
and
cool.
cosplayer does all of that. And
Yeah.
yes, I'm familiar with Kamehacon. Maybe I might have to make my way out there. Do you know when it's going to be for 2023?
Yes, it's
When?
gonna be May 12th, that weekend of May 12th. So
Got
I'm
it.
definitely gonna
Okay.
go for
Oh,
sure.
there
Fun.
you go,
Yes.
Abby. There you go,
I might do
Abby.
a panel. I might do a panel there. So
That's always
Oh.
fun. Okay, so
Dude.
when you're doing a panel, do you have a preferred topic you like to discuss? Do you bring things up with you, or is it about you and your experiences as a collector?
whenever I do a panel, actually, I like to like theme it. So I do a lot of like nostalgic Dragon Ball panels, which a lot of my content is based off that too. Where I've done like I think how was it? Things that will make you nostalgic when it comes to Dragon Ball or whatever. And I showed like the old Dragon Ball Z website, the old Dragon Ball commercials, the toys, and all that stuff. And it's pretty fun to like just go up there and like talk about Dragon Ball and like just fun things that people remember, like can connect with you with. And I think I also did what did I do? I did like commercials, funny Dragon Ball commercials. That was one of my panels. So I think the next one might be um just might be something nostalgic too. I love doing nostalgia stuff. Or you know what? I think I know what it's gonna be. I can
Big
give you
reveal, big
that like
reveal.
yeah. So pop culture, Dragon Ball and pop culture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'll be a hit. I'm
Yes.
really
Oh
Because
yeah.
curious to see that one.
I have so much content just on that. So I'm like I can make it into a panel. So it's pretty
That is
good.
for
Right.
sure.
Think about all of the other shows that have referenced when someone goes Super Saiyan or just someone says something silly off of it. I'm fairly certain that you really do have a broad amount of content of other shows piggybacking off of Dragon Ball.
Over 9,000
Yes.
is yes.
Yes.
Over 9,000.
Like honestly, an hour is not going to be enough to like cover everything, but I'm
Oh
have to pick the best
my
ones.
god.
Right, right. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
That is
cool.
gonna be a ball. That is so much fun.
I'm
I
excited
guess
for
you
it.
could say it'll be a Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't laugh at that. That's so bad.
With the little drum. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's funny.
So silly.
All right.
Very good.
So
Thank you so much. Do you have any
before
other questions?
yes, before we get you out, I always
Yeah.
like to ask these two questions. Okay. You can invite 5 characters from the Dragon Ball universe over for dinner. Who are we inviting and what's for dinner? That's the first question.
Ooh.
Go. Yeah.
Okay, so definitely Goku. Well, I don't know because Goku's gonna eat everything.
He's gonna eat everything.
That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, sheesh, that's hard now because he is gonna eat everything. I don't want to eat everything.
Yeah, he's gonna
So
eat everything.
I would like to have him over if he wasn't gonna eat everything.
Like, you can come, bro, but everyone gotta eat.
Yeah,
Right. Eat
exactly.
before you come.
But-
Fill up on your own dollar and then come over.
right, exactly. So okay, Goku with exceptions, and then Pan, of course. Who else? I'm gonna invite someone that's not from the Dragon Ball universe too.
There you go.
One of my favorite animes is kind of old school. I don't know. I think it's like very iconic personally, but I love Azumanga Daioh. I don't know if you've ever seen Azumanga Daioh.
I
Okay.
have not.
Ooh.
It's awesome.
Yes.
If you like slice of life comedy, it's great. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
so
good.
it's really good. So I would invite Osaka because she's my favorite character from Azumanga Daioh. And I'd also invite it's gonna be like a weird ass dinner, let me just say that. So it's gonna be also Mew from Pokemon because I love Mew.
Oh,
That's my favorite
He is
Pokemon.
gonna read everybody's mind.
And Mew is adorable and cuddly, so and I have Mew tattooed on my arm actually. Okay,
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
I love Mew. I'd also invite I mean, technically he
Last
can be
guess.
considered like anime because he has had an anime made based off him. So Sonic, okay?
Let's
Oh,
go.
Yeah.
he's gonna be the first one there. He's gonna be
He's gonna be like, "Can I have some chili dogs? You better
chili
have some chili
dogs.
dogs." Like, as far as
Love
dinner,
it.
I mean, I guess
Nice.
I would I would personally choose sushi because that's my favorite food. So
Yum. I don't think
yeah,
anybody else would object.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, no. Make sure you bring big rolls, especially for Goku. Goku's just gonna devour. Just
has to be a buffet of just.
yes.
Right, right.
I mean, if you watch once you watch it, you'll see what we're talking about when him, Vegeta, pretty much all the Saiyans can eat. Like
Okay.
they can eat.
I
Yeah.
believe. I wonder we'll
Oh.
have to have like who could eat more, the Saiyans or Luffy? That's a whole thing.
Hmm.
uh, oh
I
my
don't know. Don't
god.
underestimate Goku now.
Oh my
Right,
god.
right.
Chi Chi keeps that man like belly full. Like crazy. It is crazy. All right. So before we get you out, second question. There's a billboard to the world. What is the message that you're trying to display for the world?
Okay, well, I always say this is like kind of my slogan, I guess you would say, for my YouTube channel. I always say keep breaking limits every single day. Always surpass your own limits because you just we're not meant to be limited ever. So everyone is always can do better, they can do greater, and they can accomplish their goals. And I mean, that's what I would put on the billboard, right? Keep breaking limits every single day. But
I
that was
Ooh,
love
more in
nice,
that.
depth. Yeah, that was a more in depth explanation of what it is. But yeah,
That's
nice. Love
incredible.
it.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah, yeah. It's a Goshen
Definitely.
Force. That's the fan base, the Goshen Force.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love that.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. That is yeah, everybody definitely take that to heart because it's not just, it's a reality. It really is a reality when we can put our minds to say, you know what, I can always do more because
Yes.
sometimes we block our own selves from doing wonderful
Exactly.
things. So
Exactly.
pay attention to that message, everybody. I promise you. And it just this goes out, just not just to the anime community, but to everybody, because everybody can relate to that. So that is a good message. Nice
Yes.
message.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I love that message. And my fan base actually helped me come up with it. So yeah,
There
Wow,
you
that's
go. See?
very
it was really
cool.
See,
cool.
everybody takes part. Love it. That's the beautiful thing. That is a beautiful
Yes.
thing. Nice,
Right,
nice,
right. Well, it's
nice.
easy to see why you were awarded for such a phenomenal
Yes.
award. All of your work
Thank
speaks
you.
for itself. I think that's a phenomenal message. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time getting to know you and chatting with you
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Where
Yes.
can people find you? Let's give us all your social medias.
Okay, so on YouTube it's SSJ Goshen 4 and everything else is SS Goshen 4. I kind of explained why already. But
Right.
so on Instagram, SS Goshen 4 without the J. Same with TikTok, same with Facebook, and Twitter as well is without the J. So
Nice.
you can find me on all the social media platforms you can find me on.
There you go. And also, I did put that in the description on this video so they can go over there, follow you, support you. Because yes, everybody definitely, it's not every day that you find somebody who is dedicated to what they love and demonstrate it most of all. So go follow her, support her. Believe me, go follow all her pages. You're gonna get great content, especially if you're a Dragon Ball fan in general. You're gonna find something that you can relate to, and that is the beauty about that. So go follow her and support her, everybody. Definitely
Thank you
do
so
that.
much. Thank you
For
so much
sh-
for having me. I had
oh yeah.
so much fun on here.
Yes,
No
thank
doubt.
you.
Okay, so Abby,
I know what time it is.
right, right. So go ahead. You want to
Goshen.
go? Yes,
Yeah,
go
well,
ahead.
I can lead her into it. That'll be great. So, at the end of every show, we like to do a sign off similar to you. We have
Okay.
something special, a message we'd like to spread out to our community, and you can feel free to follow along with us if you like. We'd like to send out a message of peace, love. DJ does it different.
I can't do it. I can't
It's
do
still the
that.
same.
I'll do this.
Love and anime.
Anime, peace, love,
Hey.
and anime. Everybody, we are
Very good.
out.
Something like that.
There we go.
Right.
There we go.
Very good. SSJ Gosen, thank you so much for your help chatting with us today. It's been a pleasure. And I wish you much success in the future. And I will definitely be checking out Dragon Ball.
There we go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
Peace.
Thank